Private investigators, what was the most disturbing case you've gotten? 1. My company sometimes does paternity investigations and DNA testing. We had a case where a woman with a newborn baby filed for child support and the man disputed it was his. We tested them all. He wasn't the father. She wasn't the mother. The latter part was surprising, so we reached out to the lawyers since we wanted to rule out a sample error, accidental or otherwise, or medical stuff like surrogate pregnancy or chimerism. We were eventually informed that the mother's medical records contained no evidence she'd ever been pregnant. The creepy part is that no one had any idea where she'd gotten the baby, or who the real parents were. 2. I hired a private investigator for the work I do. We were trailing a man who we believed was committing fraud. His home address was a burned-out trailer, so we had to find where the guy actually lived. The PI follows him one day and ends up in this abandoned industrial site, but loses sight of the subject. Upon further research, the PI discovered that this land is in fact owned by the subject. So he went back, found a discreet spot to set up shop and began more surveillance. PI is waiting and watching when one day, a clown emerges from one of the buildings on the property, gets in a vehicle and drives away. Apparently, Guy had multiple side hustles, including working as a clown doing face paint, etc. At local carnivals, all the while living on the property of an old abandoned industrial complex. 3. I had a young woman jump into a stranger's car, and the stranger took her to the airport. Security found her and called in and told us where she was. We got a basic rundown of the story from her, basically saying she was running from her boyfriend, who was a trafficker. A few minutes later another guy calls saying that he was trying to help a woman escape her boyfriend because the boyfriend was trafficking her. He was gonna put her up in a hotel room and then she just took off with another man, and he's looking for her because he's worried about her. This is not the guy she jumped in the car with. I'm listening. I'm asking identifying questions. I'm asking him to repeat the story knowing that officers are already with her, and then he says he's at the airport and I make sure dispatch knows to get an officer to meet with him immediately, because guess what? He was the trafficker.